All right, guys, welcome back again. This is episode 2, I think. Is it 2? It is 2, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, episode 2 of the DM podcast, aka Driver Matty Podcast. I'm with Mick and Mark once again, pair of legends helping me out. Let's just start off nice and simple, same as always, see what we're all up to and to see what our day is planning for at the moment. So at the moment, for me personally, I have literally done nothing but laptop work, YouTube and TikTok stuff, and took my kids to school. Because I'm doing this podcast, I did lose out on a nice little £75 man-air job, which I had to turn down because I have made the schedule of these boys, and I'm not going to let them down. So yes, if you feel sorry for me for losing all that money, please like and subscribe to the channel on TikTok. Both beginning of them, I'll go with Mark, because you're the top on my phone. What have you been up to today, pal?
Been out since 2 a.m, 2 back-to-back, which has not been too bad. Off the rest of the day, just doing this now. But I've got a busy week ahead of me, so all good.
So you got a back-to-back this morning? Was that a man-air?
Yep.
Nice. Mick?
Me? I've done a man-air, what was it, 10 o'clock out, I think? Yeah, 10 o'clock. Took the kids to school, got the kids off there, lads football, and then I've got an 8 o'clock tonight from JLA. Blech.
No, not bad. Yeah, it isn't the best, like, but yeah. I try and stop work after 5 p.m. because I have me tea and I know all sleepy after tea. Right, so we've been all right, we're ticking over, not too bad. It has been a bit weird, in my opinion anyway, it's been a bit of a weird, slow lull to the summer. I did have a look at last year's diary, and I was a hell of a lot busier this time last year than I am this year. But obviously, it's current credit crunch. No one can afford to go away, especially in the summer months, because the prices of holidays are very expensive. Mark, have you noticed anything? Is it a bit slow for you compared to last year?
July has. May and June weren't too bad, but July has been not very, very quiet. It was just been slow. It's been a bit. Not what I thought it would be like it were compared to last year.
Mick?
Yeah, I think it's the calm before the storm, though, because as Mark just mentioned, he's got a busy week, and so have I, to be fair. And so, as the diary looks like as well, do you know what I mean? I've been comparing, like you said, comparing it to last year's to this year's. It seems to be this time of year you do have like a calm before the storm, but it definitely does feel a lot quieter than other years. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird, strange feeling, but I don't know whether I think it's got to be down to the amount of operators on the road, drivers, etc. That's the only thing I can put. And then obviously the current climate, but people are still going away, mate. People are still booking, so it's. I think if the climate and the current economy-wise was a major factor, we'd feel it a hell of a lot more. But right now,
are you on Wi-Fi, by the way, mate? You're very pixelated.
I am on Wi-Fi, yeah.
Well, get a new provider.
I'm fine. The last 2 episodes. What are you on about? Yeah, I think if it was a climate issue, we'd feel it a hell of a lot more. Especially with the amount of drivers, I just feel it's more the driver volumes than.
It's got to be the drivers, because customers that I've been up for the last couple of weeks, I've been asking customers who I've been picking up that have just flown in, and I've just said to them the flight's full. Yeah, every single one of them said the flight's full. So there's people going on holiday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
maybe it's people because the local taxis and the local Uber and stuff is quieter, or obviously a lot more difficult this year. Maybe people are looking for different avenues, maybe to try and increase their income by pushing to airports more than just general taxis, possibly.
The airport, I think it's a different story when you talk A to B taxis to going on. Everyone still wants a holiday every year, don't they? If they whatever and stuff. Yeah. So people will.
But I mean, where you're saying there's more operators, do you think the normal like a Joe Blogs Uber driver is starting to get his own ops and starting to do a bit of airport work to fill in his own gaps of where Ubers fall short because the Uber's a bit quieter. So there might be more operators from that side of things. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's what I'm getting at. There's more people out there taking work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than the bigger companies. I'm not going to mention who or anything, but the bigger companies feeding out the work. More individuals are getting operators license and taking the work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, fair dues. Oh, by the way, obviously big news. It didn't come home. I'm not a big, sorry, Mark. Mark's a big England fan. I'm not a big footy fan myself personally. But one thing I did notice is because obviously it was a UK-wide event, after the game, I had a little look on the Uber driver app before, obviously, this podcast having knows, and it did. It was nice. It was nice and red, nice and surgy. And a few of the lads in my WhatsApp group also posted in Birmingham, Manchester, and down south. So generally, after the game, it was a big surge, which is nice to see. And hopefully a lot of Uber drivers has benefited from that. And also cleaned up and made a bit of wedge last night to drown the sorrows from obviously England losing. But what I want to ask you, in my opinion, I reckon the surge is gone for two reasons. I reckon the surge is gone from day to day, general Uber. And that's due to because, in my opinion, the double appers. As soon as the local firms have said, you can go online with other firms if you want, then what happened is all the Alfred and Delta and all the local firms go online while working their normal taxi firm, which then in Uber's eyes, they look like there's 3 times the amount of drivers, where there's not. They're just waiting, cherry picking. And that's where the app picks up like there's too many drivers, even though they're not all working. They're just cherry picking while working their local firm. I reckon that's killed it. And also the out of town drivers for the big events, they're all coming together on one big event, which is also killing the surge. But that's my opinion on why the surge is dead a bit. How about yourself? You noticed anything in Mark in Sheffield? Have you noticed about surge and stuff like that?
What is a surge?
It's really, yeah.
The only time we ever have surges now in Sheffield is we don't really have big events. We've got an arena. It doesn't seem to surge. The only times we ever have a surge is when there's like at night Ramadan, when they fast night, so there's less drivers on the road. Also Eid, and like last night, it did surge last night, but because of the Euro final and because there's a big box park in city centre, so there were people coming out, but it were mainly the city centre. There was nothing around the outside.
Yeah.
But I think surge is way gone from Sheffield now. We really don't have surges anymore. Like when I first started doing it all them years ago, in the morning, between 6, 9 in the morning, there used to be surge after surge after surge. Don't get that anymore. No, it's gone.
Yeah. How about yourself? I know you don't do much Uber, Mick, but have you noticed anything, or have you got any thought processes why you reckon the surge is gone compared to the way it used to surge just generally normally, didn't it? You'd wake 11 a.m, you just go, oh, random little surge in the city centre. All that's kind of gone now. You know what I mean? Is just have you got any input on that?
I reckon personally, and this is basically totally down to volume of drivers on the app.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that can, because the only thing that makes it surge is more demand in the area than what there is drivers. So that's what generates surge all together. Do you know what I mean? And the likes of last night, as much as whatever, the amount of drivers who would have stayed off to watch the game and blah blah blah. So they haven't got their apps on. People might have thought, I'm going to stay out. It's going to be busy. Probably done well out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's solely down to just driver numbers, and the amount that we've got now completely outweighs us seeing any surge. Do you know what I mean? Big events on like football, most lads will probably take it off or either go to games and things like that, especially around here. Home, like general scousers go to the match, or they'll go to the pub with the mates to watch the game. So they're having it off. And they're the ones that seem to be throwing out the screenshots.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they're opening it up, they're checking it, seeing what it is, and that's when you see. That's the only time we'll see that it's been surging, when we see a screenshot of it. because you went out working or whatever. Do you know what I mean? The lads who've been working, they're busy enough to not be jumping in the WhatsApp group to send screenshots and whatnot. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Well, like I said, I don't know if I don't know if I've seen a direct like correlation with it, but like when Mark said they used to say just like on a random morning, Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. used to say and stuff. But as soon as all the local companies come out and went, right, we don't care who you work for as long as we get our work covered. And then, as an example, say there's 1,000 Uber drivers in Liverpool, there's 1,000 Alpha drivers in Liverpool, and there's 1,000 Delta drivers in Liverpool, as an example, right? There's 3,001 in each. As soon as they allowed double happen, there was 1,000 Delta, 1,000 Alpha, and then 3,000 Uber, because most of the Delta and Alpha drivers all had the app on in the background. So in Uber's eyes, at the city, they're going, well, there's 3,000 drivers here. Even only 1,000 probably taking work religiously. It's still they're seeing 3,000, which is then killed the demand because you think it's a false. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought, that's what I thought myself personally, like originally.
Definitely does. Well, it's the same kind of thing, isn't it? It's the amount of drivers on the app, to be fair. And
Yeah, that is
it's not.
True.
It's not just down to people just driving around with the Uber app on either. Well, that doesn't help. But the amount of drivers that Uber have took on and then out of towners don't help either.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Since when Uber first started, all you seen was what? Sefton and Liverpool plates on it, was it? Was it only Sefton at first?
I can't remember.
I think they only. No, I think they took the time to get a Liverpool licence.
They did.
Definitely had the Sefton one. What?
Like, Mark, can you double app in Sheffield with anything? Or?
Yeah, you couldn't. The big local firm, they wouldn't allow you at first.
Yeah.
I think I came in about 18 months ago, probably 2 years ago maximum. They just allowed you to do it. They found out before. If they found out, they used to take your radio off you.
Same for us, yeah.
But now that they allow it,
yeah,
because it's one of those things, isn't it? You can't beat them, join them, so type of thing. So that's the reason why they all gave up and just went thingy, because they were losing drivers left, right, and centre, because they were saying it's either them or us, and they were going to them. They turned around and went, "Okay, you can double up."
The companies only want their work covered, don't they? So it doesn't matter if you're working for someone else, as long as the job gets covered, they're happy, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a bit of a mad few years, and since COVID, like the whole game's just changed massively, to be honest.
Yeah, very.
But when I was going on about that, big news is released. This podcast is coming out on Wednesday, I think, and I put a video out on tonight. You haven't seen it because it's coming out tonight. And Wolverhampton has it's been confirmed via email and stuff that they are now allowing this. They're late to the party for this sense, multiple operators. So at the moment, right now, if you're Wolverhampton plated, you cannot work for multiple operators. You can't double app as a Wolverhampton legally. But since the 1st of August, they're now releasing that now you can work for multiple operators. But not only that, you don't need an internal plate, as in I'm assuming it's the one that's on your windscreen, and you don't need door stickers or magnets for to show what company you work for. So going from the 1st of August, you can have a multi-apping Wolverhampton driver with no door signs or magnets and no big yellow plate in the windscreen. Myself personally, I thought that was a huge update, and one of the benefits out of that, I'd say, is no door signs or the door mags. Myself personally, I think it is a bit of a dying, like old school rule that shouldn't really be enforced as really. But I was just going to say to yourself, Mark, up in Sheffield, obviously you're allowed to now work for multiple operators and stuff, but you do still have to have magnets and stuff on your doors with your company.
We've got to have the Sheffield license badge on the back.
Yeah.
Then you've got a number of that plate on the front doors that they've got to be displayed at all times, and then the company that you work for on the back doors.
Oh, so you actually need your vehicle license number on the passenger doors?
You've got a fixed badge on the back, and you've got magnets on your front. You've got to have that. Even if you don't take that on your test, your compliance test, it automatically fails.
And have you got them in your front windscreen?
You've got like an internal. It's your badge. You know,
You
that's got to be displayed somewhere inside the cab. So but you're on the front door, outside. You got your number, the back on the bumper, and then the magnets for the firm that you're working for. Well, you're doing jobs for.
Because me and Mick are both Liverpool licensed, we have to have the two signs in the windscreen, don't we? And then you have to have the plate on the rear, on the around the license plate, and then we have to have door signs to represent the company you're currently working on.
Mm-hmm.
And myself personally, I don't know about yourself, Mick, from a company owner, I would say having magnets on your car is great for advertising. Do you know what I mean? But just say, like, forget about being a company owner like yourself. Just say, like, an Uber driver. It would be a lot more beneficial, in my opinion, of not having a door mag, really. And does it make much difference since the customer now has all your details on the app? Do you really need a door mag in 2024?
No, you don't, do you? At the end of the day, they're just more of a... I mean, for the driver, per se, and things, it's great news if it was brought here, do you know what I mean? You don't have to ask about, because I know years ago you used to have to take, I don't know whether it still happens or not. If you left your door mags on the side of your car, they'd get robbed.
Yeah,
they still get robbed now.
So if that's still happening, and lads have to take them off at the end of it, put them back on at the start of shift, and do you know what I mean? It's just more of a burden set released off a driver. So and like you say, do you actually need them? No. How many people like take note of them? Do you know what I mean? And
well, the majority.
When I was working Uber, there was more and more people actually going to the license plate and checking it calibrates with the app, more than looking for a door sign on the side of the car. Do you know what I mean?
And what are you going to say, Mark?
No, basically what Mick just said then about the registration. When I've pulled up outside an house when I'm doing Uber, they'll walk out to the side so they can actually see the Uber signs on the side of the car. They've got the make and model of my car, but they all, not 9 times out of 10, they always go to the front or back to look at the registration just to make sure that I'm the right driver. Might be down a country lane and I might be the only car there, the only house there. They still do it.
Yeah.
Look at the car. They always go to the front and back, look at the registration, look at their phone and get in car.
Yeah, but like with the current laws now as well, you've got that, which is a brilliant thing. I think it's amazing for passenger safety. But on the flip side, if I went and just stuck Uber door magnets on my car and I weren't even licensed and I drove into town, not having magnets or having magnets out, like, do you know what I mean? I just can't see, I don't know if they're saying, oh yeah, it's got to be like a safety thing, but there's no, what's stopping someone throwing magnets on a personal car, driving into town and picking up drunk people anyway? Do you know what I mean? I'm sure he's got to go now.
I wouldn't surprise me if people have done it in the past. Robbed a pair of magnets on the side of the car and just done it as like fake taxi, so to speak. Do you know what I mean?
There's no happy ending.
There's no happy ending. Just someone trying to make money. Do you know what I mean?
100%, and that's what I mean. Where I think the magnets, if they were gone, then and everyone looks at the license plate or the plate or the taxi plate instead of the door mag that can be bought on eBay. I think that would be more. If they didn't have no door mags, or all taxis have no door mags, I think then you'd be inclined then to check the actual details before getting in it, and it'd actually make it safer. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
People will start looking. The people that don't look for registrations and are just looking for the Uber car and checking the name with the driver and jumping in, because that's me when I get a taxi. I don't check the registrations, I'll be honest. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I see the car pull up. I know it's a black Mondeo, door signs on, I'll get in. Check the name with the driver, away we go. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's me. That's what I normally do if I'm getting taxis, but there's probably other people the same as me out there. But like you say, if they didn't have door mags on or anything like that, you'd be more inclined to check the registration, check the make and model of the car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sure.
I think it'll definitely be better for drivers. I don't think it's an issue safety wise to remove them either.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so it'll benefit the drivers, and you don't think it'll have any negative effect for safety reasons, innit?
No.
So technically, just scrap it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But hey, this is a fun one, right? So I've just hit 70,000 miles on my Tesla Model S. And yes, I've had a few problems, electric motor, but I got covered by Tesla and stuff like that. I've got loads of pros and cons on the channel all about it. But what I want to know, I'll go with Mark first. And I want to know is, he's currently in an E-Class estate diesel, and he does a lot of miles, Heathrow's, Manchester's, mainly airports. Would you ever consider an electric car, Mark?
50-50.
Okay.
Not now, because the mileage, it wouldn't work for me, because the amount of miles I do. The only reason why I do it is to save me money on fuel, but I can probably fully charge up the night before, but the amount of miles I do in the day or even the night, I will need to charge throughout the day, which will probably cost me the same amount as well to fill up with fuel, probably.
Yeah.
No.
Are you tapping, by the way, Mark? Because I can't hear you. The
My-
tapping's louder than the voice.
Right, yeah. So I would love to have one if they brought a car out that's got a minimum of 500 miles.
Wow.
Minimum.
Okay. Wow. That's
Comfortable. I could quite be touch and go sometimes, but I'll be happy with that if it's guaranteed minimum, even in winter, because I know you lose a lot in winter, don't you?
Yeah, aircon heating. Yeah.
So I would do for the financial side of it. I know you probably pay a bit more for the vehicle and a lot, but in the long run, it's probably worth. But not yet.
Well, the home charging is where the cheapness is as well.
Yeah.
Where if you use the rapid charges, it's not that cheap. So, like you said, you need to mainly prioritize the home charge by having the bigger batteries and bigger range. You know what I mean? Now, this is going to be a fun one. I'm asking Mick, because Mick is a flipping front runner for your diesel minibus. He loves it. He's had it for years now, haven't you, Mick? I want to know, Mick, would you go full electric?
No. I love the aspect. Now, I love the aspect of being able to save money if I can. Obviously, who doesn't? But one, I live in a terraced house, so no home charging. And two, I don't like the restrictions that you may have to hurdle over, like Mark's mentioned. Do you know what I mean? The mileage, like, I know every week I'm saying it, I'm lazy. I don't like doing long days and things and long mileage and stuff, and I don't. And I could probably get away with doing it, but having that restriction of thinking about it, like come Wednesday, I'm out from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. with work because I want to do it. I wouldn't. There's basically no gap for me to. If I had an electric vehicle, there'd be nowhere for me to stop and charge. I might get half an hour somewhere on Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? And I'm doing a JLA, 2 Manchesters back to back, and another Manchester land. There's just even that seems like 140 JLA, say another 10, 150. I could probably squeeze a day out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like what?
So how many miles would you say on Wednesday you're doing then? So like 350 or something like that?
No, because I'm only doing, so it was 70, 210, about 250.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And there's probably, there's probably an hour in there where I could charge. Do you know what I mean? So I'll probably get away with it. Even
is that
what was that?
Is that borderline your car then, Matty? And you're at Tesla 250.
No, realistically, 180 to 200 because I don't normally charge 100% if I need it. But my issue is, and what Mick's issue is, there's no viable minibus full electric, and that's the most frustrating part about it. Is you still have to be in a car or a blag people carrier. You know, the ones with the small boots that aren't really, you can't do multiple passengers with luggage. The only viable one is the eVito, But what I've read online, you got the passengers and you got the luggage fully loaded. You're doing 140, 150 miles on a charge. It's just not sufficient.
That's on
To the
Manchester.
airport. Yeah. Let's see one Manchester run. But the thing is, though, if you're doing just Uber, a little bit of Uber XL, or a bit of chauffeur work, you're doing like the 2 miles here and there and waiting around all day, it'd be perfect. But for airport runs up and down the country, no, it just won't be viable. Do you know what I mean?
This is the problem, isn't it? That's the major. I think that's the major problem. The second issue is obviously the lads in terraced houses and things like that, like myself, who can't home charge. Are you gonna save money? I don't think you will on these public charges.
No.
You see, you won't, though. That's the thing. I've actually done the math on it. And the home charging is really the golden goose. Like, I save so much money with my home charging. Soon as I start rapid charging, it's similar price to, say, Mark's diesel E-Class when I'm rapid charging my Tesla. But then what you got to think of, my car, even the basic one, like to go for the Model 3, is still probably twice the price of Mark's E-Class because they're so expensive being full electric. So you're paying over the odds up front, but then you're saving a fortune on home charge. But if you don't have that home charge capabilities, you're paying a large up front, and then you're on par with diesel. With the rapid charges, it's pointless, and it is very situational, I say. If anyone says it's very situational, someone might benefit from it massively, like myself, and someone like Mick with no home charge and up and down in the minibus won't. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I don't get, because when is it they've said, isn't it by 2030 they want to be full elect?
35.
Is it 35?
That's what caused the dropping the prices of the electric cars. They pushed it back 5 years. It was 2030, but now it's moved to 2035. But I'm pretty sure Uber London is still 2030 to have all Ubers in London full electric or along those lines, which I think is just crazy. Because you're forcing people out of, the lads that are in the flipping $2.5 grand Toyota Yaris's cleaning up, they ain't going to go out and spend 40 grand on an EV car, are they? Do you know what I mean?
This is what I don't get. And what date is it that they're supposed to stop making diesels and petrols?
They're already doing it. Well, what happens now with the main manufacturers now? They get big fines if they don't do like 30% EVs, and then next year it'll go up to 40% EVs. Next year, 50% EVs, and they are squashing it out right, like even now this year. And if you don't hit the quota of EV sales over engines, they get massive fines, like millions and millions of fines. So they're already squeezing them out. I'm pretty sure, probably Kia and Hyundai, they're already on track to be full electric only in a couple of years. Because obviously they've got a really good fleet of electric cars, haven't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where some manufacturers have fallen behind.
I don't get how they can force you into doing it. I just it's ridiculous. Because so when it comes to it, I don't intend to still be in a terraced house by then, but if lads are gonna still be in a terraced house, then do you know what I mean? And they haven't got home charges, what are they gonna do? Do you know what I mean? You're pretty much forced out of basically someone's job, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you haven't got a car, you haven't got a job, especially if you're a taxi driver.
But that's what I mean. But if you're doing the airports and you need a minibus, there's not even a viable option now. Do you know what I mean? No one's come out and went, here's your 300-mile, 8-seater minibus. They're still not out here, and it's 2024, and they're expecting everyone just to go, sounds, yeah, I'll go full EV by this date. And like you said, if you've got no driveway or nothing like that, the infrastructure's not there. Do you know what I mean? There's some places in like North Wales, when I drop off in North Wales, mate, the superchargers are so much rarer than in like the cities and stuff. Like there's no Tesla superchargers in more or less any of Wales. A couple, 2 or 3. So if you lived in Wales, you're already restricted just by living in that country.
Oh, mate, I could literally go on a rant about it if you wanted me to. Just think about it. Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk sits there going, oh, yeah, I made all these fucking electric cars, blah, blah, and blah, blah, blah. Next minute, he's come out of that meeting or press conference and jumped on his private jet and polluted the whole air with the fucking jet fuels. Soft cunt. Sorry. Next subject, please.
Let's talk about teddy bears. Calm down.
Oh, Mick.
I swear to God.
Do you know what though? We've got Mark who like answers phone calls and stuff, or like falling asleep last week, and then we got you who's just like the worst mouth when you get a subject going to you. Put a fire on the Mick,
when
mate,
you
and
get
he's
me on a
dropping
rant,
the
mate,
T-bombs and everything.
when you get it's I feel bad because the CUNT word is bad and I shouldn't use that one, but you know where you Mr. God, mate, I could go more if you want me to, but I'm not. I'm stopping myself.
No. Hey, do you know what though? 30 minutes and we lasted without a swear word. So, you know what I mean? That's quite impressive, to be honest.
Hey, hang on, I didn't get no credit like that last week when I didn't swear at all, so I'm making up for it. There you go.
What are you going to say, Mark?
Just saying, I bet he did swell in the first 30 minutes. We just didn't notice.
Yeah, he probably slipped one in under his breath, didn't he?
I definitely
he's been like that behind the camera, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to bring up, or have you got anything yourself you want to speak about? We've just hit the 30-minute mark, so we can call it quits if you want. Or is there anything else, Mark? Have you got anything you want to bring up or say?
Oh, now? I've got nothing now.
No, all good. Yeah,
Mick,
yeah, all good. Happy days. Well, I think we just call that a success, you know what I mean? I could cut the last 5 minutes just to save the little kids' ears, but other than that, it'd be all good. Yeah, no, but I think another successful episode. I want to finish up by definitely saying again, thanks a lot for Mick and Mark jumping in and helping me out, and much appreciated. Because like I said, we're all busy, so we're trying to message each other and organise this little hour slot in our busy schedules to just try and find a little slot where we can do this. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it makes the content and it makes it like fun and quite natural as well, which is pretty cool. And as per usual, guys, do us a favour, comment below if you have any subjects that you want us to talk about, or anyone you'd like to see in the, you know, like a YouTube, TikTok. I'll reach out to them and see if they want to come on and stuff like that. Like I'm going to start doing. So Mick and Mark are going to be like my go-to guys, week by week, just talking about news and what happened the previous week. And then I want to try and get the odd little episode in with the special guest. Maybe like I'll make the accountant in here to talk about the accountant's finances, or a TikTok or a YouTube or something like that would be pretty cool. Well, listen, guys, as per usual, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe to the channel. And as per usual, thanks again, Mick and Mark. Legends.
No worries.